Store 659, customer T-Zac. This is a follow-up video on completing the installation, as well as some issues with the range hood and some other things that we need to look at. First of all, let's just got a quick list here. We got an oven cutout we need to do. It wants a 5 5/8 offset from the back of the cabinet above the refrigerator, so this is going to require 2 by 6s by 8 2 pieces to do that. Single trash can base waste basket is to be changed out from a double that's here now on a base 15, no big deal. Change out top drawer through the bottom, and that's going to be over here. We'll talk about that in a second. Wall 1233 right-hand cabinet box replace. We've got the door in the cabinet here for that. Wall 1236 door, we had the door for that. Move the laundry cabinets up to 61 inches. Per the design, it was 59 7/8, but we can work with that. Let's start off with the hardest part of this, and this is going to be this right here, the range hood. So this is the range hood that was shipped with this unit, and if you look, this hood has actually got brackets that hold it against the wall so that it slides on once the brackets are installed, and then all this hard pipe is all connected so that the liner and everything would be set across it. So this was sent with this. It's a WHBU 700. There's your PO number. Make sure it's all the, one more number right there, 76. So this was the unit that was sent with it. If you take a look here at how this unit's made, this is the range hood, and the range hood's nomenclature is WHCCRPV 422432.P. Now, if you take a look here, this particular range hood liner is the right size. The opening on the interior of this is the right size for the base cutout around the bottom of this. All that seems to match. In fact, if you take a look at the layout here in the wall, you've got your wall, you got your bracket, you got your liner. Everything's mounted to the wall, right? And this is showing here as well. Again, mounted to the wall, set up your pipe, everything is completed. The problem is that this hood, if you look, has a solid back in it, okay? Now, other hoods we've done in the past have had a French cleat, a metal cleat on the left and right, and they actually sit over the range hood as it was mounted to the wall. So the blower unit was actually mounted to the wall first. There was a wooden cleat here and a wooden cleat there, and the wood hood itself sit over it like a facade, okay? And it tends to look like that's the way this should work as well. I mean, you can tell here from the drawing that everything is to be completely set up, completely attached. Range hood liner hung from it. Here's the same one, range hood liner, everything hung from it. But when we actually take a look at how this wood hood's made, it actually has a mounting back, which they've screwed to the studs. It also has a top piece, which would be a top plate here, that's actually made to the top of it. Now, the customer went ahead and took that off, just trying to get access to hang this hood. But more importantly, there is no removable front panel. If you take a look here, this is a solid seam. This is painted together. If you look inside, there are no cleats or clips to remove. It's all glued and nailed together. Same thing up here. It's a solid piece on the back of that. Now, all that to say this, either the range hood is not built correctly for this arrangement. Now, he does want the higher CFM, so that's not negligible. He wants this CFM because he's already got everything. This is an 8-inch. He's already got everything plumbed for this thing to work. So working backwards from this particular hood, he would like to make sure that we get the right facade, the first piece, to go over it. And right now, there is no way to push this hood up through this and get to any of the brackets to screw it to the wall. or to even adjust and tie everything in. Because again, like I said, usually the front of this comes off. So that's as much as I can explain. It just appears to be that either the hood is built incorrectly or it's paired incorrectly to the actual ventilator. Let's take a look here at the oven. This one here is the one that needs a cutout. No problem. 28.5 by 50.25, I think is what he told me the oven was. We'll double check that. Plenty of room here on the face for that to be cut out. Just need to adjust the base, cut that piece out. Here's the base 15. This one came from the factory double rollout tray. He wanted it with a single instead of a double. So new kit is here for that one. Here there is a wall 1236. Take a look. There's a little crack in the front of that finish. So he wants to replace that door. It's here as well. Over here, if you take a look, this was hung to the wall. Now, just so you know, in the drawing, here's the drawing. If you look real close, there's a small gap right there, just a small gap. But there's not a note on here anywhere referencing what that's supposed to be. Customer says that it's supposed to be 5 1/8 inches pulled forward. That's an odd measurement. It'll work with the moldings that we have, so we can do it 5 1/8. Typically, it would be 5 1/2 because that's what a 2x6 is. It's 5 1/2 inches. But we only need 2x6 by 8, 2 pieces, ripped down to 5 1/8. But that gap that you see there behind that is not representative of 5 1/8. That's about 3 inches of gap behind that. Again, there's no notes anywhere here about what that could be. I mean, so that's where we need to communicate on that part. The other thing is on the elevation, which is here, there is no notes anywhere on the elevation to show that this is a deeper cabinet set than what it is. So that's one of the things we have to do. Now, other thing is here in the laundry room. In the laundry room, the cabinets are set to 59 7/8. Okay, so when you measure this to the floor, the installer set right at 59 7/8. Okay. The problem is that this company doesn't have an overlay to their top molding. Shenandoah doesn't have an overlay that's over 3 inches wide, and it drops down a 1/4 inch, drops over the top of this by 1/4 inch. So it's not flush to the top of the box. So we're going to need to move these cabinets, these wall cabinets, up to 61 inches. Okay, a good inch from where they're at now. To be able to get enough overlap between those two to be able to nail the crown to that piece. I'd also suggest that when we do this, we go ahead and add blocking. So like your piece of starter looks like that. It hangs over a 1/4 inch on the face of the cabinet. I would say we need to add a piece of blocking, any color, to the top of it of 1 inch, just nail it through it, just to make sure that we have enough material. 3/4 inch would work. Just to make sure we have enough material to nail to, because we're looking at 60, we're looking at our crown molding coming in right there, right at the top of that block. And we definitely need to have plenty of room for us to be able to nail that angle up to get into that. So I would say maybe a 3/4 or 1 inch block extension added. So make this thing like 3 3/4 tall. To compensate for the 1/4 inch it comes over, plus another 1/2 inch or so taller, plus move the cabinets up to 61. Again, it's just something this company has. So the base cabinets here are sitting on the subfloor. There's no notes here of any finished floor thicknesses that we're going to have to offset for. There's no showing here of any blocking that we're having to do as far as raising the cabinets. So again, just there's something there between the installer and the designer about adding materials. This is always 24 inches because we want to make sure we have room to put laundry baskets and stuff here. It's just that this company doesn't offer a 6-inch riser. So, okay, last thing is to talk about is here they got the right drawer front, or the drawer box for this one. So this is a tall drawer box. This was not ordered as a thin drawer box. It was ordered as a standard. And so we end up having to get a thin box to go on top. The only thing about it is this particular cooktop is a Bosch cooktop. So it requires you to put an elbow on the bottom of the cooktop headed back. So we think that this is going to be enough for that elbow to miss the drawer when it opens and closes, so the regulator can be mounted in this area. Again, it's just an assumption on our part. We've got the drawer here. We can't really know anything until they try to put the cooktop in place. This drawer may have to be notched even further according to how this elbow hits it. It may have to be notched even further to make sure the elbow can clear when it opens and closes. Again, as a 2-drawer unit in the future, as a 2-drawer unit instead of a 3, the second drawer is only 10 inches tall. There's 7.5 inches of space above the second drawer, and there's plenty of room for a regulator, gas pipes, anything like that. So in the future, if you did this as a 2-drawer unit instead of a 3-drawer unit under a cooktop, no problem, works every time. Okay, I think that's pretty much it. I have one question on this microwave. So on this particular microwave, we actually have an opening that's in there that's 22 1/8 wide by 15 5/8 tall in a 33-inch base cabinet. Now, customer's going to look up and see whether this was a 30-inch microwave or 27, 24, what's the size. But it appears that this opening has been factory cut to match. So this one should be good to go as far as the appliance fitting it. And the last thing is this wall cabinet here. This is a wall 1233 with a glass door on it. If you take a look here on the right, there was actually a pretty decent chunk out of it from the factory. They tried, I guess, to touch it up, but it's still visible right here at the eye level. If you look inside, a couple of screws in here, a couple of screws up there, floating shelves between them, and it is an all plywood construction with a flush end. So we do have the new cabinet here to replace that one with. Again, it's just needs to be taken down, replaced with a new cabinet, and then before the molding and everything is applied. Okay, as far as I know, we just went over the customer. The opening is correct for that. He looked it up on his phone for the microwave, so we're good to go on that one. Any questions about anything, feel free to give me a call at 423-650-1051. Have a great day.